Welcome to another video on Homewood Avenue Lights. I'm Rabbit. On this video we're going to talk about your basic differences in lighting. Your very basics. We're not going to discuss the smart pixels and all that you see running in the background here on these trees. We do use some of these in our displays. Some of our displays are regular, but these are a little bit more complicated, so that's another video. If you're interested in them, look for the video entitled Pixel Lights. Today's video though is on basically any kind of a light that you can plug in on a regular 110 outlet. They'll all use the same style controller, one of the regular standard 16 channel controllers. The main differences you have on lights is whether they're LED or they're incandescent. Incandescent is more like your old school style light. They, like I say, they all plug into 110 outlets. It could be string lights, it could be rope lights, it could even be a floodlight, or you could have some of the old big C7 type bulbs and all that stuff. But your incandescents, they're cheaper to buy than the LEDs, but they use a lot more power. So much power, especially if you start running a bunch of the C7s and that stuff, you have to be very cautious of your power draw. These control boxes can only handle so much power, and depending on how many of these style lights you're using, you may have to use more control boxes. If you're using a lot of these kind of incandescent lights, then you may even have to make sure you're plugging controllers into different circuits on your house. Otherwise you could simply pop a breaker and you keep resetting your breaker all the time. LEDs use a lot less power. We use 100% LED lighting in our whole display. A lot of people ask us every year, what's your electric bill? You see all the lights around, you're kind of curious, like, wow, that's got to be expensive. Due to the fact we run 100% LED, whether it be the rope lights, the RGBs, all of them, everything is LED in our display. Our power bill for the month of December, when they're running every night, might be $10 more than normal. It's really hard to tell because I don't have a big spike on my bill for December or anything like that. So cost wise, these are much cheaper to run, and we just like them. The color scheme and all that stuff, like I say, we chose to go 100% LED on our display. The cons to them though, they don't generate heat. The LEDs will not generate heat. You see these lights running over here, I can walk over, touch them, they're cold. The problem with that is where we live up in Northeast Ohio and maybe where you live, is snowfall. If you get a big snowfall, not generating heat, we have to go out and knock some snow off of our displays and all that stuff so you can see the lights again. If you're running incandescents, they generally will generate enough heat to help melt snowfall off of them. If you're putting something on your roof that you can't really get to, you might want to consider running an incandescent lighting on that. You can mix and match them, it doesn't matter. They can all run on the same controller. The only thing you have to kind of be mindful of is the ramping when we're turning them on and off with the software and that. The incandescents react slightly different than the LEDs do. You have to make sure you get dimmable LEDs, but they react at a different time, and it's real minute. But when you're doing your programming and all that stuff, be mindful if you've got incandescents and LEDs, and the software tries to help you offset. You tell it whether it's an incandescent or an LED, and it does pretty good. But you do have to be mindful of your ramping and your timing and all that stuff, that it is different with an incandescent light than an LED. So that's your basic differences, LED versus an incandescent. And you can get string lights or rope lights in either. Even the floodlights, you can get them in either. You see this tree back here, that's a string light set. We just happen to mount it on a frame so it looks like a Christmas tree, but that's 100% LED. Like I say, everything else, we use only LED. So in summary real quick, LEDs, they cost a little more to buy, they cost a lot less to operate, and they don't generate heat, so you may have a problem with snowfall accumulate. Incandescents, they're cheaper to buy. They do generate heat, so if you're needing a little bit of snow meltage or something like that, but they do cost a lot more to operate, and you have to be mindful of your power draw when you're doing a big display as to how much power a controller can handle and how much power your circuit that you're getting your power supply can handle. So that's your basic differences between LED and incandescent. Think about it, what way worked better for you. Like I say, we use 100% LED. That's what we chose to go with. And that's our style, and that's what we like. So hope this helped you a little bit with it. God bless. Be safe.